Good evening, Ghana. That is how I'm supposed to greet, but it's not exactly a good evening. It isn't, because tonight's confession is about a young woman who died because she wanted to be married, she wanted to keep her marriage, and she wanted to stand by her husband. Not just her, so many other women have died. And so, to honor the memory of the departed, we are in black to mourn them. First of all, let us go into the confessions booth and listen to this confession. And then we will have the general conversation about people that are losing their lives in the hands of their lovers. Thus is Confessions on TV3. My name is Miss Nancy, and tonight, I'm not a happy woman.
Pascal's showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that the wells can store many, many messages. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded your contact center yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
I sit with sadness in the confessions book tonight because this confession has got to do with the life of a young lady. And we've heard of many such stories all over the internet, all over Ghana recently. And I just want to hear his story, and we'll make a conversation out of it and see how well we can help this gentleman. It's always an honor when a man of God, a revered one at that matter, comes to us on confessions with their challenges. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much, Miss Nancy.
For this purpose, I'll just call you Rev. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Thank you. So, your confession.
All right. Miss Nancy, I'm a man of God. Pastor, has been in the ministry for many years.
Okay.
I'm a pastor to this couple outside. Yeah. They've been having issues in their marriage.
Okay.
Like, it happens more often.
Yeah.
And anytime it happens, the lady reports to her parents and all that, which I'm aware of.
Okay.
And this time around, it happened. Well, after it happened, the lady left to the police station.
Okay.
To report the case.
A typical,
Yes.
disagreement in a home.
Yes.
And the lady went to report to the police, as is done anywhere in the world.
Yeah. So the police came in and they separated them.
Okay.
So the lady left the home with the kids. Like she left the husband.
Shelter.
Yeah.
That
shelter.
is.
So when I found out as a pastor, as their pastor,
Yeah.
I came in and I spoke to the lady. I pleaded with her
Okay.
so that they can come together again as one family. You know, peace is important.
Of course.
So in this case, the lady agreed and she came back to the house. It's nice. Suddenly, an unexpected happened. Not too long ago, we heard the woman is dead.
The young woman.
The young woman.
Mm.
So from all indications, I think is this the domestic violence that has been happening in the house that resulted
in the death of the young woman.
So like, I've been asking myself, what have I done? Is it because I pleaded with her and she came back? Like, I shouldn't have done that. I've been asking myself, did I do a good thing or bad thing?
Just being a pastor, trying to put a family together.
Yes.
Quite a story. It is sad, it is unfortunate that somebody sought to do the work and the will of God, that what God has put together let no man put asunder. And in the process, a young woman, a young mother, has lost her life. Her 2 children are without a mother now. Domestic violence. This is not the only story. All over the internet, too many stories of men, some butchering, some strangling, some doing all manner of things to their spouses that ends up in their death. Ayeni Brissom, let's get into the studio and talk about this. Quite a confession, quite a story. Rest in peace to all women that died because of love. Thank you, people, for coming, and thank you for wearing black, because every life is essential and every life should be preserved. Tonight, we just had the confession of a man of God who just sought to do his work as a counselor for marriages. He sought to do the will of God by making sure that what God has put together, no man puts asunder. Eventually, he heard that the woman had died through a domestic violence. He asked her to come back home to be a mother to her children and a wife to her husband. And the unfortunate happened. People, the conversation commences. But before I come to you in the studio, let me bring in a technical person to tell us about how the mind works, how human behavior works, for a person who is a lover to turn out to be the one that would actually take your life. Together, let us welcome, not so pleasantly, Dr. Asafo, a clinical psychologist. Oh, Doc, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Tonight, we are celebrating every woman out there that died in their homes, sometimes in faraway places, sometimes even in the bushes. Their bodies were thrown elsewhere and strangers would find them because somebody that said loved them decided not to love them anymore and decided that they would not live on the same surface of the earth with them. Doc, what makes a person that was a lover become an enemy to the extent of wanting you dead?
Thank you very much, and good evening to our viewers again. Ms. Nancy, this question you ask is specifically on what we call intimate partner violence. Now, the reality of this phenomenon is every behavior that is performed is just to gain control. That's the reality of what it is. And so if you look at what the statistic is, for many people, the actual death was after they left. So they had been in an abusive relationship,
Yes.
and when they left, that's when the hurt or the death or the assault comes in. Why? Because the person who consistently abuses the person who is being abused is doing that to gain control. So once the person leaves,
he's lost control.
Perfectly. There's nothing else.
So it's just a mental thing of power play.
It's power
in
and
charge.
control. Yes.
Doc, I'm failing to understand how 2 people can live together and one does not know that this person is capable of murder. In fact, this person is capable of killing me. At what point do you know that there is this character trait in my partner that I should be worried about?
Okay. There are always telltale signs. But before we even go into that, remember that every beginning is beautiful. And there's nobody that comes in the beginning who shows abusive qualities.
Okay.
Now, the interesting bit about the abuse is it starts in a very subtle way with things that you may hear and be very excited about. You know, sometimes people say, oh, he's so romantic. Why? Because he says something like, and maybe I'm saying he because most of the time men are perpetrators. Although we've had isolated cases of women, mostly it's men.
Spouses.
So you hear a man say something like, if you ever leave me, I'll break your leg so you become a cripple and it's only me. And you say, oh, wow. It's
How
so,
sweet.
How sweet.
Hey.
That is a sign.
Okay.
If someone says something, if you leave me, I will kill you. If you leave me, I will kill myself. All those are part of the scheme to get you to what? Be controlled. Because once you enter the web, it is difficult. And it comes to that question that many people ask, but why did she stay?
Yes.
But it's not that simple. It takes a process. You have a Romeo who suddenly comes and makes life so pleasant.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, the little signs start. And it starts from things like, you know, they are worrying you at work, so don't even work. And you are
Stay
happy.
at home.
You are happy. He cares so much. Well, when you leave work, you are leaving company.
Yes.
And you are also taking away the ability to fend for yourself.
For yourself. Your
so
independence.
you become dependent.
Dependent on him.
Your mother, the way she talks about us, I don't like it. Don't
be
be
going
talking
to
to
your
her.
family.
Then you also say, it's true. Your brother. So you see, the process is to first isolate you. And once they isolate you, you have nobody but who? Them. And so even when they abuse you, your life circles around them so much, it's not so easy to go. That is one of them. Second one is,
yes,
when people have a sense of, like, if their self-worth is minimized, okay?
Okay.
They have a need to, as it were, gain power over other people to feel a sense of self-worth.
Okay.
So in doing that, by bringing the person down, and it happens a lot within, especially if you look at marriages where the woman is higher. Guess what? It happens to anybody. It doesn't discriminate. It's not as if they'll say, oh, me, it will never happen. We have professors, doctors, lawyers who are being abused, and they are still in there. It is back to a mental process. So it is not a thing of, I will never do it. It follows a sequence. So when self-esteem issues come in, what it is I am doing it so I can feel a sense of esteem because I have you under my power.
So you are powerful, and I'm subduing you. So it makes me feel
It's a
more
conquest.
powerful.
Exactly. Exactly. So they say the mind of the abuser works in that light. You want to gain control to feel good.
Doc, what are some of, give me about 4 of them, that as a woman or as a man, you notice this character in your partner, it means they are capable of murder. Run.
I wouldn't say capable of murder, but probably we want to say that they are capable of abuse.
Okay.
The first thing is if they want to deprive you of
Okay.
your social life,
Okay.
church, work,
Okay.
this friend, that friend. If they do that,
When
that
a man
is
starts telling you, I don't want you to go to church, I don't want you to hang out with these
perfectly.
people.
Those are signs. That's the isolation phase.
Okay.
Now, if they make threats to you, I will hit you, I will slap you, I will, as a joke, that is a sign. If they make threats to your children, knowing
Yes.
that if I threaten the children, she'll do what I need her to do.
Okay.
Or if they abuse the children to keep you in control. So you'll stay because if you leave,
The
you
children will be
fear they would
abused.
suffer. That would be. Now, in some instances, we say that when you have a partner who significantly uses alcohol, and I'm
Okay.
using the word significantly,
Significantly.
uses alcohol or drugs, that may predispose them also to become aggressive. And they will always put it on the alcohol,
Blame it on
or
the alcohol.
or the drug. Okay, so those, and then the moment they physically hurt you, they push you, they shove you, they pull your hair, that is also a sign of abuse. When you notice that they are putting your esteem down, they'll never appreciate anything you do. If the whole world says, amazing, they'd probably say, oh, but this one.
Person sees you and instead of saying, good morning, how are you doing? You look beautiful. It's like, hey,
Is this
answer
what-
what you consider.
Exactly.
It's part of it,
It's
huh?
part of it. They are gradually depleting your
Your
sense
confidence.
of self-worth.
But why?
Control. Control. Think about how people gain control. Fear. You make people fear you, they'll do what you want. So fear is such a powerful tool in this dynamic of abuse.
we are so overwhelmed with the combo we cannot even clap because we are all in a place where you could be a friend to the deceased, a sister to the deceased. Yeah. I mean, a brother. We are all in that place. And Doc, it's so helpful that you're having this conversation with us. At what point do you notice that? Okay, so, Kat, let me rephrase my question. My last question, for that matter. Are all abusers mentally challenged?
Not at all.
Huh?
Not at all. In fact, many abusers have a double persona. So to the world, they're this amazing angel. To their partners, they are this demon. So it is not mental illness or mental challenges that causes people to be abusive. It is the need for power and control. I must say, however, that there are people who have mental illnesses, and that may predispose them to be aggressive.
Yeah.
So in that anger outburst, who is the person to displace on? Your partner.
Yes.
And once they keep doing it and there's no consequence. See, and that's the other thing. It's from a learning perspective. I do this to you, nothing happens. I do this to you, nothing happens. I will keep doing it. So then it becomes normal, even though it's not normal.
This is the opinion of the technical person, how the human mind works, how an abuser behaves. If you are in a relationship, in a marriage, tonight, assess yourself. Assess your partner. Do they have any of these characters that we just mentioned? My dear, run or seek help from a professional. Thank you very much, Doc. It's been a good one. Your last words?
Thank you. It is run and talk about it. Shout it. Let everybody hear it. They will give you the power.
Don't run and hide. Run and let everybody know, because that is one of the solutions.
That's the word.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. This is Confessions on TV3, a very special episode dedicated to all the women out there in Ghana, all over Ghana, Ghanaians living outside of Ghana who have died because somebody dared to love them and probably dared to love them too much according to their own thinking. I'll be right back. We need the counselors here. We need them to talk about love. We need them to talk about relationships and how it moves from a love affair into a death affair. Tonight on the show, bringing in Dr. Kelly Daniels. He is a relationship consultant. Kelly Daniels, let's have him. Show him all love. Show him all love. Thank you, Kelly. It's good to have you. And of course, if we're talking marriage, we're talking relationships that have stood the test of time, men that have spoken about love and relationships over the years. How can we ignore our very own Counselor Edumata? Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And as you can see, these two wonderful gentlemen, a more mature man and a young man in the seat. Tonight you have problems because it's the brothers that are killing the sisters. We are in black. We are mourning. We are mourning the loss of our sisters, our mothers, our friends that died because they probably, supposedly, were loved too much by men who sought to control them. Our sincere condolences goes to the family of Majua Kumasi Adum, who was killed by her lover. Sincere condolences go to the Prempe family in Kumasi. They lost their daughter, Winifred, who just wanted to be a mother and a wife, far back in the USA. There's been so many other cases. Eunice in Ghana, Osinachi in Nigeria, so many other people, women all over the world, because they were killed by men they loved. Sometimes accidentally, not intending to kill them, but they died in the process. And others planning, thinking, and executing their death. Kali Daniels?
Yes, Miss Nancy.
Of Edumata?
Yes, Mama.
We are in mourning today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Offer.
Yes, Mom.
The man brought his confession. As a counselor like you two, as a pastor, he preaches peace.
Sure.
He preaches unity. He says, what God has put together, let no man put asunder.
Yep.
And encourages this young woman to give her marriage another chance. That chance resulted in her death. He is confused. He's wondering what he could have said that could have saved this young woman's life. Papa, is it the job of a counselor to tell you that this is enough, leave?
Yes. At some point, you must be able to ascertain what is going on. Now, unfortunately, the lady is not alive. I would have asked the lady questions, and I'm just throwing it out there. That se who said was se we are mebo market. When you saw the plate, you need to alert one more
Our energy.
If the moment the signal comes and you sit on it, is your doom. Mama, our nipa, it's about life. You see, I have not married you, Miss Nancy. Miss Nancy, you've not married Kwekwe Dumata. You've married my life.
Your life.
My life is the heartbeat that beats when my mom got pregnant. And to date, my heart is still beating. Who stops it? Are you using marriage to come hurt my life? You are a total disorder. I don't say this with any question marks.
And a disgrace.
And a disgrace. And again, you being called a man, you do not exist. You are not a man.
You are just a male boy.
Yes.
You are just a male.
Because Obano from Trosem, where is she coming from? So a part of you. Now what
when the man is supposed to be my protector.
Maria.
My protector.
Exactly. Now we come. Ha! Una about me. Why the name me? But in the process of my life in this world, no, it's you I met just to be able to increase, just like the Trosem kind. Keep it and grow it. When you marry me, what are you supposed to do? Keep me and grow me. It didn't say kill me and destroy me. What is that?
Thank you, Offa. Kelly.
Yeah.
You are the love doctor. Yeah. Why do women stay in abusive relationships? So when she leaves, what will happen? Why do women stay in? You are the one that's for love, about love, and why?
All right, Miss Nancy. First of all, for every male who has hit a woman by any means against her pleasure, shame on you.
Total. Total.
Shame on you. Unrepentantly, unapologetically, shame on your family.
The parents that raised a monster like you.
Shame on your background. Shame on the sperm that fertilized your mother's eggs. Shame on you. I'll deal with you when I find you. But for now, I just say shame on you. I don't care what pushed you to it. You don't have a justification, even if you married a witch. You don't have a justification. I don't care what she did. If she could have broken your head, she could have killed your mother. But to raise your hand on a woman, shame on you.
Shame.
You are an unfortunate existing male.
Why do the women stay with these unfortunate existing males?
Fear of rejection. The average woman in society has been dumped at least by one person. The average woman, in fact, above 60 to 70% of the women who exist have been left in a relationship for several reasons.
Yeah.
Best known to the males who had anything to do with them.
Yeah.
A male could leave a woman for many reasons. I'm not even going to go into whether the reasons were right or wrong, but the average woman, above the average woman, goes through rejection.
Yeah.
Oh, he left, or he used me, or he dumped me. Now, I'm not going to go into all that because some of those things don't actually make sense. But more than 50% of every living woman you see on the
Has
earth
had a breakup
has had
before.
a certain level of rejection, either by someone who dated or married them, or actually society.
Yes.
Can I take 30 seconds to emphasize that women are not lesser than men?
No.
No.
We are
Because
equal.
they are looked down upon at offices, they are looked down upon in places, in churches.
Even.
In churches, hello?
And in their homes.
In their own homes, they prepare them for marriage, not preparing them for their own future. Marriage is not a means of nobody's going to get an award for being married on earth when we get to heaven, for God's sake. So,
The
the
fear
answer
of
to that
rejection?
is fear of rejection and accepting anything that looks like warmth.
Oh.
Anything that looks like, oh,
Companionship.
companionship. He said the nice things. He looked the nice things. Yes, I have seen people who have looked the nice things and said the nice things before, but I'm just coming out of a terrible place. I just need a safe place. And though this one sounds like what I'm used to, what can I do? Let me try this one too. That's the first stage. Second stage is, I have been abandoned, neglected, rejected by 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I just give a little bit more effort to see that this 1, 2 works? Yes, I see the red flags. Yes, I see the bullying. Yes, I see the extras. But I can't leave this one too.
Just so my friends would also know that I'm a missus.
I am a missus. I have a man.
I'll have the
I live with
prestige.
a man. I have a man in my life. So let me keep up to status quo to make sure that I act it out to look like what people assume of me. And so I cry in my secret place. My pillows are wet. Even my puppy knows that I'm a sadist. But I can't let go. Because I don't know what's forthcoming after this one. Yes, I have children with him. Should I stay because of the kids? Should I stay because of my personal shame? Should I stay because my family has warned me never to come back? All of these things have come into the formulation of the word rejection that comes in different frames and different versions. That is a primary reason
People stay in abusive
why
relationships.
people stay in abusive relationships. But one more thing. People stay in such relationships because of supposed pastors. The pastors tell them, oh, stay, we'll be praying with you, it is well. Withdraw the case from the police. That's a part of the case I have to handle. The woman knows what she was dealing with before she took the person she married and called love of her life to the police. You don't know him better than her. They live together. So you can be counseling him behind bars if you really care. But taking away the case from the police, let the law take its rightful course.
Because, Miss Nancy, if you come to me, Miss Nancy, that your husband is lying to you, or no, is where we are going to contain
Yeah.
and see what. But not when what you say, hey,
Johnny,
Johnny.
Run.
And then just to top what Kelly said as to why they stay, that cliche they call obesesa.
yeah,
Obesesa.
yeah.
Why obesesa? Before you got me, before you see me, and before you said you want to marry me, you are in deficit of my known. You don't know me.
Yeah.
You are in deficit. When I saw you, you were 25. I was 27. Now, do I know your age 1 to 23? Excuse me. Hey, so you have this very attitude in you. This character is there. Start reasoning. First one about. Second one about. The next will be guilty.
Thank you. So the man is still here, our Reverend. We make the conversation general
Yeah.
so that everybody can learn from this. I gave a suggestion. I gave an advice.
Yeah.
I did not hold a knife to the neck of the lady that she should come back. She made the decision to move. In fact, it was at a distance. I am burdened. I have guilt. As a pastor, as a counselor, how do we help him?
This is one of the saddest moments of our lives.
Yeah.
Anybody who counsel, you need to look at the end result of your counsel. And you should be availing yourself on the basis that should anything happen, plus, good, minus, you caused it. Because the reputation was, I am going to this man, this woman, because I have a solution. You're catching be a mefa. That is why, as a counselor, you don't speak from yourself. You speak from God's word.
Yeah.
Because whilst the lady was speaking to you, what was it that God was
Did
telling
you discern
Exactly.
the danger
You do
she
not
was
just
in?
go raw because you think...
You have knowledge.
No.
You have read.
No.
You have the certificate.
No. It's not about counseling. It's not about
Nah,
certification.
not at all.
Only.
Not
Only.
at all.
Fine.
Certification, yes, needed, but
Yes.
don't look at that alone.
No, you need the God factor. So you feel it. So when it happens like that, it's a bit worrying. But what I'll say to the pastor is that next time he should be able to read the dynamics.
Do you think there would ever be a next time for him? Being a pastor, does it even
I
be a
was
marriage
just-
counselor?
I was just about to say a pastoral calling and say that.
You have a counseling career with God's backing.
I am a pastor, I'm a counselor by career. I am a double-edged sword, seeing the mind of God and looking from a psychological perspective, striking the balance and with my empathy at that time.
Okay.
Very importantly, pastors, because we cannot bring down or look down, but let the pastors be humble enough to draw the line between
This is
pastoral care
above
of,
me.
of your salvation, because that's all the pastor's job is to do, the patient. But when you see that there are peculiarities in your church members' lives, this is marital, not pastoral.
That's right.
Send her at best fits that field.
Pastors want to be
can't be
doctors,
everything at the same
lawyers,
time. No.
counselors, what you don't
No.
even have knowledge of, just because people will come to you. So you want to make yourself relevant.
It's looking beautiful and it's working for you doesn't mean that how it worked for you. Nah, your marriage is peculiar to you, yourself, and different from what you have done.
Let me pause to ask you people who's had an abuse from her partner. Did you have a boyfriend that hit you, that slapped you, that kicked you? Are you sure in this
Are you
studio,
sure?
1, 2, 3,
One
4,
find some
5
pachu
women,
leader.
you never
Hello, Miss Nancy.
Yes. Girlfriend
No,
that
no,
beat
no,
you up.
no.
Or if she beat you up, you are allowed
no,
to.
no.
Oh,
Dave, you are, I don't know.
Are you sure?
Oh, no, Miss Nancy. A friend of mine abused a lady, Ali. But according to, he's into drugs. I realized that because of the drugs. But when the funny answer, baby,
The lady.
Biako.
Yeah, vulnerability.
So he just used the lady sexually after that. Pang.
Physical.
And the
she's
girl was
stuck
still
with-
there. To the extent I even approached the girl, I said, "Won't you don't know? I love him." That's what the girl.
You are out there, you're watching Confessions tonight. And you have said so many sorry your home for you to run to. So he feels that he has all abusing you. Today, salvation has come for you. On Confessions. Move. Find something to do with your hands.
Empower yourself.
Has anybody ever abused you?
No, please.
Thank God. Because I would. Yes.
So most of these death cases is a result of nkwala ninti, mama so move to wrong people because they will move to their parent. They'll be like, "Oh, me grandpa matina papa hon krasa." Yes, so the ladies they else, and I think that is what caused disasters. So we should be careful of who you move to for counseling.
We've been talking about fiscal, those that died even in the process. How about men that use their lips, their mouths, their ill, damage, frustrate the soul such that they move woman to just a woman, almost to a being, abuse verbally, they've lost. Let's talk about emotional.
Listen, words are powerful, and is life or death. So you're either speaking life or you're speaking death.
Yes.
There's no middle. May I please mention to us the narcissists? Well, we may not have all the luxury of time, but they speak nicely. But behind the niceness, narcissism, I'll talk about manipulation.
Yes.
He is appealing, but he's an he's after everything about and almost nothing left of you when he's done. That it is an emotional abuse.
Yes.
Thing to make you look okay, but that makes you feel worse than yourself. He tongue, telling you how useless, hope, and helpless,
unattractive you are.
Him aside, he would say, "Look at yourself. Okay, if you leave me, who would take it? I did you a favor, you the way you are, and so now you're ungrateful." That could form, even when she sees a genuine person appreciating her, to say, "Lady, you're," agrees in her mind that whatsoever the person she's living with has told her negative about her personality, talking about body shaming, talking about belittling, talking about saying, "What about your marriage? Look at what they've done. Look at what are you doing? Who made this woman have children for you, and now."
This is Tonight is a special edition dedicated to all the women of us. I'll be right back. Don't go away. We're still sitting in the studio talking about that which can take the lives of women, especially because in 1 out of 10, it's a woman that has been slain. My lady.
Very much, Miss Nancy. Please, I want to know first person you have to involve. You know, most men don't like it when you involve a third person. Themselves hurt. And I don't know if it's out of pride or what. You know, you are really. Your man has said that I don't want you to know all these things too.
Per that statement, that's you. Yes. Why can't you open up and we discuss our issue? Okay, then I'll look for somebody you reverend. Yes.
That's why they went to Rev.
You see? So
someone you reverence.
Here means that
I know.
Yeah. Sorry, dear, no.
No.
Fantastic. So to know that is a manipulation. This man reason well with you. So why do you want to close up our
and kill you on the inside
to get to somebody to talk?
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Nancy, since we have right channel in these situations, because we respect our so much, we tend to go to them for help. It's about time they be honest with their church members. Situation is life-threatening. Tell them the right thing with the word of God. Good, as something that can cost your life, but they'll still tell you, I'll help you in prayer, so that we can.
And on that, nobody can love you more than yourself. Your life is under threat. That person does not feel like you.
No.
Run, telling you to stay. You are the final decider.
The slain mother and wife. As we continually see these killings happening, becoming more rampant, a sudden. What I can say or tell my fellow men is that men, we can do better. So please, beyond you, or the anger is getting to just walk out, but to touch, it's a no-go area.
Thank you. The gentleman, and then I come to my maid.
To my fellow sisters. As a woman, so try and achieve something so that in the event where you're in a marriage is abusive, try and strive to do better so that you know that when you part ways, when you're in an abusive relationship and you part ways, parent your child from afar. So this is to my fellow sisters.
Please take it. All right, back here in the studio, I'm sure this pastor meant well.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
And
certainly.
it has ended the situation. Kelly, to send him some words.
Yes, please, Miss Nancy.
Been an insightful one.
Very well.
Your opinion, your story about it alone is part of the healing. Helped you tonight.
Yes, very. I think I've heard everything and I'm okay now.
You are.
Yes.
We've already booked a session for you with our official, and he's going to give you the help.
Thank you.
And you need help, go to the doctors, go to the psychiatrist, go to the psychologist, business consultants. You are a pastor, but you are not to the realization that we would need other people's knowledge and do well with our careers.
Man of God, I appreciate you. We applaud you. You are doing fantastically well. The fact that you can even open up and burden yourself means to go about healing, and so well done. Do not stop doing the beautiful work you're doing, because who you are in that office. Many people do not know what pastors deal with to keep up their own lives every day, and we still want to try and keep body and soul together and still be aligned, or the next church member. Nobody will encourage you to keep up the good in you. Amen. And uphold you always.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I want to tell you is that if there is there will never be a sunset. It happened for a purpose. It's supposed to remold you. It's supposed to rethink you. So, what happened to me, it did not happen to. Meaning, stop blaming yourself, stop accusing yourself, stop condemning yourself, but ask, what next? So, in your next episode of things right. But one of the things you should do is that when you engage, there is a lot of abuse, please allow them